Hello, comrades. Welcome aboard the Tier 8 Delny, the Russian tech tree destroyer that is rather pricey, if I must say so myself. 25 mil just to unlock the boat, not to mention the grind to get her to start, and then a whole bunch of other million just to upgrade the thing. So this is a pretty penny. So let's take good care of her, shall we? Let's take a look at the commander we're going to use. We've got Anton Gurn again at the helm, and he is going to help again with the AP shell penetration multiplier, which is good for this boat. And as always, we have double concealment with Swirsky and Bay, which is going to reduce it as much as we possibly can. Contact is imminent, which is going to help our torpedo speed by 4 knots, which is good. Another look at me now perk to help with our reduced detectability. Third slot, we've got Perceptive, which will help with incoming damage, and a bearing locator for the closest ship. Fourth slot, Smoke on the Water, again, just aiding in our smoke. And last but not least, Unstoppable to help us in case our engine gets knocked out. And on to the mod slots, we have Aiming Systems Mod 1 in the first, Propulsion in the second, Concealment in the third, and Main Battery Mod 3 in the fourth. On to the consumables, we're electing the Smoke Generator over the Heal because we want to stay concealed as much as we possibly can, and a Get Out of Jail Free card is helpful. And then lastly, we have the same engine boost that we've had the entire line. On to the actual ship stats themselves, the survivability. We are looking pretty healthy, about 1,000 HP better than the Tashkent at 22,000 hit points. And our armor has seen a significant upgrade, which we'll take a look at in just a sec. On to the artillery, the main guns, same 130s in the 3x2 format as the Tashkent, so that hasn't changed. Same reload time, 4.5 seconds. The 180-degree turn time, I believe, has gotten a little bit better. Our HE shell and AP shell damage has gone up slightly, but the same fire chance at 8% is what you can expect with the Delny. So not a whole lot of difference or disparity with the guns. Onto the torpedoes, a little bit different. We have 10 torpedoes and 2 quintuple launchers, which I haven't had to say yet. They still have the same 8-kilometer range, and they still have the same 64-knot speed with our perk. They hit pretty decent. They have a little bit of a lengthy reload time, a little over 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 20 seconds to be exact, but 10 torpedoes is pretty spicy. Onto the AA defense. This has gotten a much needed upgrade and boost. However, it's still average at best, although the AA does start at 5 kilometers, so you have to be cognizant of turning that on and off so you don't get spotted early. Maneuverability, 44.8 knots max speed without the speed boost, which is pretty good. 760 meter turning circle radius is not the greatest for a destroyer, and the rotor shift time at 5 seconds because of our build is still, it's okay. You can still maintain and use this just fine. The 760 meter turning circle radius is something you got to be cognizant of, though. On to the concealment, and this is the lowest that I can get it. It can technically go lower because some of our commanders aren't maxed out, but 5.7 kilometers, we're going to make that work. And detectability while firing in smoke is 2.9, and detectability range by air is 3.3. Like I said, if you're facing a carrier, AA starts at 5, you get detected at 3.3. Always turn it off unless they are within that 3.3 range. On to the ship stats. Don't have a lot of battles. Like I said, I just got her not too long ago. We got 18 battles and a 61% win rate. Is decent. It's in the right direction. Onto the armor, though, and this is the best part of the ship that's new. Look at that orange section. Can cause any AP shell to ricochet at appropriate angles and will resist HE shells up to 203 millimeters. So if you're going up against this thing and you're aiming and hitting at that spot and you're not able to do a whole lot of damage with your HE, now you know why. Das Vidanya, comrades. We are on Land of Fire again in the Delny. We're by ourselves. A couple divisions, one on ours and a couple on the opposing team. And it's mainly a legendary tier lobby. So this is just something you're going to have to get used to when you are here at tier 8. It's a tough tier to play. It's not the easiest. The Delny does rather well. It's a really good gunboat destroyer. Relatively well concealed, but one of the things that we're going to experience in this map in this match rather, on this map, as we spawn across from A, well, you'll see as we go on, it gets rather crazy, and I feel a little cramped and a little claustrophobic during this match, and you'll understand why. But here I am. I'm going to go into Alpha. This little bitty nook and cranny over here, where this island kind of juts into the cap just on the right-hand side of my screen, that's where I'm going to set up base camp, because my goal is to capture the base. I need to get this cap. It's going to help with our points. It's going to help our team. If we can spot things while we're at it, great. But also got to be cognizant of the destroyer that could possibly be over here. Not quite sure what it is yet, but there you can see we have a Des Moines, a De Grosse, and there is the Gearing. Now, the Gearing has faster firing guns than we do. Ours hit maybe just a little bit harder, but the Gearing's guns are actually really, really good. I'm going to need help, but as you can see, if he keeps hitting right there in the midsection with those HE shells, it's going to cause negligible damage to me. Here I moved just a little too far forward. That was a good showcase in how those shells did absolutely nothing. We threw torps on him. They look really, really good. However, he gets taken out right before our torpedo was able to hit him, which if you saw that splash, our torpedo was going to hit him, but unfortunately he died before they were able to get there. And as soon as we drop spot, the Des Moines radars us. So now we just got to kind of camp out right here. And got to wait out his radar. But thankfully, because of the position that I'm in, I'm still in the cap. I'm currently flipping it. And nothing can shoot at me. At least not yet. And I got to stay here until that runs out. And there you see shots come in. And I'm like, oh, great. Now what's hitting me? And unfortunately, it's the Khabarovsk that is the tier above me, the legendary. And I'm like, okay, well, I went unspotted, but I immediately get spotted again because of the Des Moines Hydro. So, not ideal. I can't see the Cobb. He can see me, which is great teamwork by the Des Moines. He's not in a position to do any damage to me because of the rock that I'm hiding behind. However, I'm lit up. And there's nothing I could really do. The Cobb, I think, makes a mistake here. If he would have pushed just a little bit more to be able to take advantage of shooting me, I would have been in trouble. There would have been nothing I could have done. But he puts himself out of position. Not quite sure why. Maybe he was didn't want to get caught by a bunch of our blue ships that are kind of in between Alpha and Bravo. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to get shot by them either. But because of this little nook and cranny, I'm able to just kind of hide here, which I am. I'm kind of playing for my life. But at the same time, I want to get this cap. It's being contested right now, so I'm like, I feel really useless. The only thing I'm doing is keeping this cap from being flipped, if I'm being honest. So there's that Khabarovsk that was still on the cap, but he ends up kind of moseying himself off the cap, and there we start generating those. It starts ticking down again. So technically right now we're taking the cap yet again. I'm just kind of wondering when or if I'm going to be spotted again. I mean, it was just really, really tough. They know I'm here. There's really not a whole lot I can do. I really need this cap. And then we get hydroed again. And I'm like, the Des Moines couldn't have gotten it back that fast. And it wasn't the Des Moines. It was the De Grosse, which also has a hydro. So I just kept getting spotted. Although because of where I am, it feels like I'm not doing anything. But oddly enough, I am. I'm trying to take this cap here. I'm trying to get my torpedoes in play because the De Grosse could really stall my efforts here. So I put one on the indicator, one behind. They just clear this island. He's got hydro, so he sees these coming. However, there's really not a lot I can do. There's 7 seconds left on the cap. I really don't want to get spotted, and there his hydro runs out. So I'm going to pop my smoke because he is pushing around. As soon as he clears, he's going to be able to see me. So I'm going to start shooting. These torpedoes look good, and we take out the De Grosse. But as soon as that happens, we get radared again by the Des Moines. So thankfully, our team as a whole has done a really good job, but man, I have never struggled this much staying unspotted as much as I did. I was spotted so much, and I was behind an island practically the whole first half of the match. which was a little frustrating. Here are the Cobbs coming around the island, and I changed to AP. Now I'm going to show you why, because he has the same side armor as I do, maybe a little bit better. Although I hit a little bit behind, we got a lot of all those shots hit. We got 2 full pins and 2 overpins, or 4 overpins, but we did a significant amount of damage. Didn't take him out. Our teammate behind us did that, but that was when you're up against the Delny or the Khabarovsk and you have a flat broadside and you're relatively close. If you're in a destroyer, it's more, you're going to get better results if you're shooting AP rather than HE. Because like we talked about, that armor plating can resist up to 203 millimeters. And the Cobb and the Delny and most destroyers do not have 203s. They have much less than that. So hitting that side armor plating with HE shells, even though technically most destroyers are very susceptible to HE damage, the Delny and the Cobb are the exceptions. So got to keep that in mind. Here we've got 2 ships left, and we've only lost 2 ships. So it's a little bit of a cattywampus ship count here. But it's a division of 2 of the new Italian Tier 8 Tech T destroyers. I don't know how to say them, but I think you know what I'm talking about. So they're in a division together, and they're all the way on the opposite side of the map. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up just for video's sake. So as we're zooming towards these guys, I just wanted to kind of point out that as we're coming to a close, I'm going to be featuring a new line here soon. Not quite sure what it's going to be. If you have any suggestions in the comments, I'd like to do a battleship line. I'm not as big of a battleship player, but I'm thinking about the Italian battleships because they got a buff, and I like that game style. So let me know what you think. Here, as you can see, the smoke is right in front of me, and I'm keeping my guns trained on this section because I know he's about to pop up any second, and boom, there he is. He's low. We take 1 shot, and boom, he's done. So kind of a cheeky kill, I know, and he didn't know I was there. He didn't even get torps off because it was so fast, but that's the power of the bearing locator and just kind of knowing how these ships play. I know that they're really fast ships, and when they're in their smoke, it lasts a while. But as soon as you're able to get in there, you're, yeah, he was toast. There wasn't really anything you could do. The Adriatico, I think is how you say that. But anyway, that's a look at the Delny as from a concealment standpoint. Not my go-to build, but it is usable. And man, how we were able to stay alive, even though we didn't get top in the leaderboard. I'm just thankful I stayed alive. I was spotted, I felt like, for over half that match. So they utilized their radars and hydros rather well to keep me lit. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me today. That's a look at the concealment side of the Delny. We're going to take a look at the pocket cruiser roll in the next video. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Thank you again for all your support, for all the advice. I really appreciate you guys. And we'll take a look at that here relatively soon. So I hope you guys are enjoying the update. I am, and I will see you in the next video. This is the USS Endeavor signing off.